What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and resident superstar, Adrian Holmes.
What's going on, fellas? Fresh off of a Star Wars Battlefront 2 victory, all bases captured.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. Now, I'm pretty proud of myself. You sat down, you jumped in a Discord call, and it was just like a menu noise. I heard like the little like...
It was maybe like half a second that you needed to hear that.
It was like...
And you said,
like a little like...
Is that Star Wars Battlefront 2? Not only did you say, is it Battlefront, but you were like, is that Battlefront 2? Like they don't have the same menu noises.
Immediately, I was on that crap. I know. I
was so taken aback. Like, how did you know? And then how did you know it was 2?
That was my favorite game on the PSP. I played that to death. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PSP. I never owned it on PlayStation 2. I always wanted on PlayStation 2 because, you know, it'd be fun to play on TV as well. But I only ever had it on the PSP. One of my favorite games. Loved it. So, of course, I know that menu sound. That's all I heard for hundreds of hours. Late at night when I was supposed to be sleeping, and I'd sneak my PSP, and my parents, you know, had none the wiser. I was playing Star Wars
when
all
you
night.
Weren't watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
When I wasn't watching Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, no. With my Jack Sparrow poster on the wall.
That UMD is story. Like, it's in a landfill somewhere just thinking like, thank God, I never have to spin again.
I never have to play that dang movie again. I'm trying to think, what was it, the first one? I think I even had the second one too. I think I had the first 2.
They did all 3.
Yeah, I don't think I had the third one, but at least the first 2 I had on the PSP. Oh man, I was obsessed. A little
the only movie or show I ever had was the first season of Family Guy.
Okay.
When it had like 4 or 5 different ones in that box. That's the only one I still have.
That's so funny.
Guys, I'm going to cut in right now because I'll tell you what, Garrett will go on for another hour and a half and forget, I never introduced the star of the show, the man of the hour, the man with the power too sweet to be sour, this guy, Double J. What's happening, peeps? See, Garrett, I just do my own stuff because honestly, you had like an hour and a half, you would have been like, I never, that's right.
I never introduced JJ. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, well, you know what? Adrian and I were having a moment there, you know, this nostalgia, a little PSP
I want no moments on my show.
Moment.
Like, I want no moments.
I want no moments.
No moments here. You heard it here first. JJ does not want any moments. How are you doing, JJ? How are you this
I'm
week?
newly employed. I treat these people so well. Like they totally gave me a job. Yeah. So I start as the assistant manager next Monday. I'll probably be back on the soup line like a week later. If I can make it a week. I have them pulled pretty good. Pretty good. They're like, you come to us with a lot of experience and how much do you want to be paid? And so I was like, that's not a good question. So I dropped like...
What's the minimum wage here? More than that.
Yeah, I'm like, well, how much do you get paid, sir? No, I said, I want you to back up the Brinks truck, and he didn't laugh, and I was like, that was a bad joke. So I asked for a pay rate, and they actually
maybe they don't use Brinks there. Maybe it's a different company. Maybe you just didn't understand what you were saying.
That's probably what it was.
It's not that you're not funny. It's just that he just didn't understand because different. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I just
want to make you feel better there. Maybe it's not that you're not losing your touch, JJ. You're fine.
Thank you. Yeah. So they actually came back and they offered me more money. Said, hey, we want to start you off and we're going to give you $1 more an hour. And then immediately I was like, I went way too low. I should have went higher. I was worth more. No. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So, for Nebraska, I'm going to be paid very well.
Yeah, still pretty good. Well. Still pretty good. Yeah. I had my first day today and went pretty good, you know. Back with my old boss and things are great.
Do they give you breaks between clients? I mean, to like clean yourself and all that? I mean, are you just like one right after the other?
He's asking if you sell your body.
My God! Adrian, that's not exactly what I was saying. You know what? You're right.
In a roundabout way.
I was totally saying. Yeah, I was calling you a whore. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. No, today was just training. It's a lot of a lot of sitting and watching some Zoom calls happen, watching shared screens through Zoom. But yeah, it was fun. It got me excited. I'm excited to get into it. Dan's asking in the chat what it is, because I realized I didn't really say last week, because things were still kind of up in the air until I had my first day. I was like, I don't know what's happening here. But yeah, I'm moving in, doing some I guess like web design, minor marketing kind of stuff for some pest control companies. So yeah, it'll be mainly like websites and stuff like that. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than answering phone calls and dealing with angry customers. That's for sure. I did not enjoy that, and I'm glad. I never have to answer a phone call again, unless it's from my boss. But that's different. Cool. How are you doing, Adrian? I know you were playing some PSP, but your week's been good?
I'm doing good. I got over those Ewoks and the stupid little traps that they throw in the ground that make you flip over yourself. I hate that so much. But it's okay, because I won. I beat him. Okay. I got him.
Just ground those Ewoks into the ground.
I threw that lightsaber. I chucked it. You should have seen it, Garrett. I threw the lightsaber, and I hit somebody off of their speeder and killed them.
That's pretty awesome.
Come on now.
that
was free aim. I did that. I timed it. I saw him coming out of the corner of my eye. Chuck that saber. Bow. All that was left was the speeder.
Good. So good. Oh man, cool. Well, today we're going to be talking about the Game Awards. That's it, because that usually takes us a large majority of the show. I was like, why have a bunch of filler news, especially this time of year? There's not much going on anyways. It was probably kind of, digging up some of the bottom of the barrel stuff. Why not just talk about the Game Awards? There's lots of awards given away, some announcements, give our thoughts on it. So that's what we're talking about. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers. We have Toby Dalton, Quote Joma, and Bleep Bloop. And also shout out to our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. Thank you all so much for your awesome support. We appreciate you. And if you want to be awesome like them, you can go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us there, starting at just $1 a month, all the way up to our Patreon producer tier, $15 a month, where you get episodes early and ad-free, like our Super Gamer Book Club. Actually, the new episode just went out last week. So for free, if you want to go to our free feed, you can get the episode about Little Nightmares with Raider Rat. That's featuring Adrian
and only Raider Rat. And only Raider Rat. It was me, you, and Raider Rat.
Yeah.
And no other fans of that game.
No other fans of that game.
I'm technically legally not allowed to talk about it, but I want you to know that
should I take that video?
Well, no. Wait a minute. Now this is part of a promotion. This is part of a deal here. So that was part of your content deal.
Oh, okay. So that was such a great episode, because we got to talk about Little Nightmares 2 a lot and Little Nightmares 1. And those games are amazing. I don't know if you know that, but Raider Rat was amazing. She totally carried the stuff. That chick is phenomenally talented.
She schooled us, man. Mm-hmm. We thought we knew a little bit, and then here she came.
For sure. She said a lot of the backstory of it. And if you get a chance, if you haven't already listened to the episode, go check it out on YouTube or one of our podcast apps, because it really is a great episode where we break the whole game down. And I learned a lot. I was taking notes while Homegirl was talking. I'm like, I'm going back. I'm going back.
We know you're going back. You'll always.
Oh,
go
you know
back.
I am, right? You guys laughed and thought I was joking. I was dead serious.
Serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's on our free feed. You can go to any podcast service, type in Super Gamer Book Club. But on our Patreons, for Patreon supporters, last Friday, Super Mario Odyssey episode came out with Pocket, Adrian, and myself. That was a blast to record. Again, he was absolute genius when it comes to Nintendo stuff. He was spitting stuff, and I was just like, really? I had no idea. He's just so smart too. Not only does he know stuff, but he knows stuff, if you know what I mean.
I told you, man. Pocket he's smart as a whip.
It was crazy.
And that was just off the dome. He had really, we don't really have a game plan when it comes to book club. We kind of wing it. We have a semblance of a skeleton, but for him to come in there and improvise like that, next level.
It was insane and so much fun. So go support us over at Patreon to get that episode early and ad-free, along with our regular podcast episodes. If you're not watching this live, you could be getting this right after we go live. I edit it, stick it out there for everyone to listen to, who supports us on Patreon. Otherwise, you got to wait till Wednesday when everyone else gets it. But we'll talk more about our Patreon later in the show. Now, it is time to check the mailbag.
Mailbag. Well, I don't know what to do.
I love how this catches you off guard every week, like we don't do it every week.
No.
Wait, we have a mailbag? No.
I don't know what to do with the mailbag now, because now that you're not homeless anymore,
all right,
it's not the backdrop. So should I just put them in a dock now, since you have access to, not the library computer anymore?
I guess.
What are we doing?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Did that catch you off guard?
I don't know what has happened. Something like tickled the back of my throat, and I could not stop coughing.
Comedy. That's what it is.
It's probably left over from that first day at work today.
Just read the thing.
Yep. This first question comes from Normcore Eddie, and he has a couple questions for us. The first one is, what's the best game you ever received for Christmas?
Pokemon Blue.
Super Mario Brothers 2. Like Super Mario Brothers 2, 1988 is one of the best Christmas presents I ever got. Yeah, I know. Before both your guys' time. But like that game was so huge. That was the Christmas that, like, if you didn't get that game, you sucked at life.
Okay. Wow.
I had the exact same kind of Christmas, but 10 years later, and it was with Pokemon. Same thing. You didn't get that game for that year? That was the year it came out, I think. And 98. Mm-hmm. I over here anyway. It was 96 in Japan, but it was 98 over here. And I remember getting it, and I remember sitting down, turning it on, and then the next thing I know, I'm 30 and doing a podcast.
Nice. I think I got both the Game Boy Color and the Pokemon Yellow that year for Christmas.
In that Costco pack, that's what I got.
We don't have Costco in New York. Or at least right. we didn't back in the day. We had BJ's. It wasn't from BJ's though. It was
we're not talking about work.
I know, that's the thing. It was in the back of your throat earlier. You see what I did there?
Oh my gosh.
Adrian, well done. Done. You hit it a second before me. I'm very proud. Very, very proud.
Thank you. It was probably from KB Toys before they went under,
Oh man, I miss KB Toys.
Good old KB Toys.
They were much better than Toys R Us.
It was the Atomic Pink or the Atomic Purple, Game Boy Color, and Pokemon Yellow. So good. But no, my favorite is actually
KBs
a store
in the mall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was only in a mall. Only in a mall. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like ever a standalone anywhere.
No,
I got my Game Boy Advance there.
That's
KB.
where I got.
Nobody else had it but them.
Let's see. Oh no, I got my Advance SP. I got it from Toys R Us. That's where I got it from. We scoured like everywhere and couldn't find it, and then we found like a random Toys R Us like an hour and a half away. I'm like, we're going now.
Get in the car, Mom.
But no, I've actually already told the story again, so I won't share it in too much in depth. But the Crash Bandicoot Warped that I got. The Crash Bandicoot 3, where my dad like hit it in the snow bank, and we came back from my grandma's house and Christmas Eve and found it. That was probably like just because the whole experience of it. It wasn't just getting a game. It was like, what? Santa? It dropped out of his sleigh in the snow? What? like a whole story around
gotta
it.
have it.
It was pretty cool. His second question for us is, it's Christmas time, so I'm curious, who are your favorite ice type Pokemon? JJ is excused from this question because he is AARP eligible. So you don't have to answer this, but what's your favorite ice type Pokemon, Adrian?
Oh man. Favorite ice types. You don't think about the ice types that often. I mean, the easy go-to would be Articuno, right? Of course. Duh. But you know what? I don't think Delibird gets a whole lot of love.
Oh, Delibird. He's such a weird Pokemon.
Isn't it though?
I don't know. He's weird. I don't know about him. He's kind of a little strange for me. Glaceon, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go with Glaceon, right?
Fair point. Isn't Jinx technically ice type?
I think so.
No, I gotta look.
Vamp. Well, for me, I was gonna say I've never played these games because I think it's in Sun and Moon, but the Alolan forms. I have seen it before though. Isn't the Alolan Ninetales an ice type?
Yep,
And
it's
I
ice.
like that, like the Vulpix and Ninetales both, and I like they're pretty sick. They're really cool looking. So, again, I'd love to play those games one day. I hope they remaster them, bring them to Switch.
Jinx is ice and psychic.
Okay.
There we go. Lapras.
Oh.
And you get the benefit of surf because it's the best Pokemon there is to surf on.
Lapras is so good. I think someone gave me crap one time about Lapras. I was like, dude, I love Lapras. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, Lapras is dope. And his Pokemon cards always look awesome too.
Are you kidding?
What's
the you know the Reggies now.
Do I?
You should anyway, right? From playing Platinum.
I haven't played Platinum.
I mean, not Platinum. Diamond and Pearl.
Oh, I have not gotten any of the Reggies yet.
Oh, okay.
I've seen like screenshots and pictures. Like I know that they're in there, but I have not gotten that far. I've been too busy playing other games this last week.
Oh, really?
like something that rhymes with Zalo.
Good job.
Was that a good one? Was that a good? I feel like I nailed that. I feel like
I don't know how else you could have. How else you could have pulled that off?
Or J-Lo. I guess I could have done that. That actually makes more sense because that's a person.
Are you talking about Spanish Halo with the J on the front?
Yes. All right. What's the next question here from Shadow Ranger?
Hold on.
Come
one
on.
second.
Dude,
Okay.
no, you don't have an answer.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me, youngsters, okay? Let me school you for just a second. That AARP line ain't cool, man. That's
we
not
didn't say
cool.
it.
That hit hard. That hit a little hard. And like there's anything else but Sandshrew. That's the only one that's worth a damn in any of the ice-type Pokemons. So whatever, man. Boom. Mic drop.
Sandshrew?
I think I Googled it a second ago while you guys were talking. So that's got to count for something.
Is definitely not ice type. Unless one of his other forms is or something.
It said
It
ice
absolutely is. JJ nailed it. Alolan Sandslash.
Oh, is Alolan.
Is ice
okay.
type.
So,
yeah, I Googled the shit out of that right now. I just want you to know.
He got you.
That AARP line got me good, man. Like who put that in?
That was Eddie, Normcore Eddie, yeah.
Boy, let me tell you something about them Norms. They've been talking real slick lately.
He's getting a little mouthy. You're getting lippy, bud, and you might end up getting
I'm just saying they better watch it.
That's twice.
They're already on thin ice.
Yeah, that's twice we've been attacked. They Steph was saying some crap about you that one time about your bad tweets, Adrian, and then now
and here I am in her streams being like, "Yo, what's up? You're doing great. You're killing it."
Man.
All right, fam. I see how it is.
Ridiculous. All right.
I'm still mad about it.
Still mad. I'm still a little salty about that.
I'm still mad about it.
Shadow Ranger 02 asks, if you guys were to have a Super Gamer Boys versus another podcast, which one would it be, and what would your moveset be?
No, of course, so we could lay them out.
Go again.
All right.
I don't know.
So I actually didn't read this question beforehand. So I think this is actually us like fighting, like as if we're as
like
if we
a fighting
were
game,
like either a fighting game or as if we were Pokemon. Like if you, me, and JJ were Pokemon and we were fighting another a podcast or channel, who would it be and what would our movesets be?
Yeah, I say go big or go home. I'd like to see us take on my brother, and me. And I'm thinking like,
so you want to get one shot at is what you're saying.
Hey, you know what? That's how you build up. You know what I mean? So I'm saying like,
you don't get EXP when you die. It doesn't work that way.
And as far as like moves, I'm thinking more wrestling moves than anything else. I want to like tombstone pile drive somebody. You know what I'm talking about? God. Like let's put them out.
Oh man. Okay.
I can see Adrian throwing a mean drop kick. So I'm thinking like he's probably got some height to him.
Oh, you better believe it. Off the top rope, baby.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
What you got, Garrett?
So I'm trying to think of like podcasts that like we even know personally. Like, okay, what would be fun? And I guess the only one that I could think of that'd be actually really fun is to duke it out with the Cheesy Boys. So I was actually I was on their podcast a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
And it's Chizo, it's Angel, and
Angel's getting a stunner off the bat.
Wow.
You kidding?
I think it'd be so much fun just to do 3v3 Pokemon battle with those guys, or wrestling, whatever we're doing there. Oh man, yeah, I think we could totally take him out. Like, yeah, easy peasy.
Done deal. I'm right there with you.
Oh man. All right. You have any thoughts, Adrian? Any podcasts?
I already said mine.
You want to beat the? Oh yeah, Normcore. I forgot. You're gonna just take down Steph.
Both of them. No, they both got to go now because they dissed me and they dissed my boy. They're out of here. They both got to go.
All right,
I love that he's got my back right now.
I could take it. JJ is a sensitive soul.
Amen.
Yeah. Yep. No one else here is sensitive.
Not a lick.
Nah, no.
Nope. Not at all.
They call him No Soul Garrett.
Is that what they call? Is that what you guys call me?
I call you
More like
back.
a robot, but
It's
Yeah.
like it's like a secret Discord channel where it's just talking crap about me behind my back. Okay, cool. I see how it is. Oh man. All right. This next question comes from Bumple Smash, and they ask, what game or game series have you wanted to play but either haven't gotten to it or too intimidated by it to start? Mine is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
don't be intimidated. Do it. Those games are awesome. Just do it. Are you hyped up right now? You ready to fight somebody? I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight.
Oh man.
I've been wanting to try to play the Gears of War games,
Ooh,
but I'm
it.
kind of like, man, there's so many of them now, and I'm like, where do I start?
There's only
And I'm kinda
5.
Yeah, and I'm kind of overwhelmed. Like, I don't want to play something that's really, really old, but am I going to miss out on the story? Well, I'm just saying I'd like to have something with a little more updated graphics. Like,
You
I've been
literally
burned a couple
only play Super Mario 2 all the time. That's like all you play, dude. That and Little Nightmares.
yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I'll play them with you, JJ. They have co-op.
Do they really?
Oh yeah, do Gears of War co-op and stream it.
All right, that's cool.
We can make that happen. All the way there. I think 2 to 5 have co-op. If
The first
I'm
one
not
doesn't?
mistaken.
I'm
I don't think so.
I'm kind of interested.
At least I don't remember. I know for sure 2 has it because they love to do that. Choose your path. Dom, you go to the left. Where'd you come with me?
Yeah, splitting you guys. They love to split you up.
Oh my God. Every 5 minutes in that game, Dom, you and Cole go over there. Me and Barrett will stay here
It's like, no, I don't want to.
and handle the gun.
I also have never played.
That's pretty good, Marcus.
That's pretty
Other
good.
than Metal Gear 5, a little bit of Metal Gear 5, I've never played any Metal Gear games. So
You have a guru sitting right here.
I know, and
He'll walk you right through it.
I think I haven't played it just to spite him. Like, I think that's what it's about. He loves it so much. I never wanted to give it. Well, I played a little bit of 5, and I was telling you, like, oh, it's so great, it's so different and weird, and you're like, 5 sucks. Like, 5 sucks. The worst. And then you proceeded to rant about Hideo Kojima for 45 minutes. Like a good 45 minutes.
Gears of War 1 does have co-op.
Oh, online?
No, local. Never mind. Just kidding. That's a
But
bummer.
I think from 2 up does have online.
Right. Yeah.
If
I
I'm
think
not
so.
mistaken.
I think you're right. Oh no, I'm looking here at cooptimus.com. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, online co-op 2 players.
Oh, on Ultimate, yeah. That was basically the
But the Ultimate,
one
it's-
remake.
that's the one that's on Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys, if you play through Game Pass, you're good to go.
There we go. We can make it happen.
Sweet.
JJ, rip that door. You'll get what that means in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Adrian? What's the game series that you haven't touched?
Series. there's not too many that I'm like, oh man, I wish I could get into that. Specific games, I definitely would probably say Final Fantasy 14. I never had a hardware that could run it because I never had a beefy enough PC, and I don't have a PS5, and for some reason Square Enix hates Microsoft. And number 2 is time. Just never.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I said this before. I know people who have put like 1,000 hours into that game. Whoa. And it's just like, golly, I don't. But I mean, you know what? MMOs are like that though. Most of them are like even dating all the way back to, you know, the old Phantasy Stars or any of those other games, Final Fantasy 11, any old, you know, EverQuest, World of Warcraft, same deal.
Yeah.
People put a ton of time.
Adrian, I believe the people that play 1,000 hours of games, we call those incels. So I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. Might want to look it up.
I've always heard. No,
is that what we call them?
No, yeah, I've always heard
voluntary celibates. Yeah, so they.
No, but those guys are dicks. I'm talking. These are good people. They just don't have anything else to do.
JJ's just like, yeah, sure.
I'm just saying.
Well, okay. As look, I got kids, man. I'm lucky if I get 2 hours a week in games, and then I'm like, oh, I play 2 hours, like, you know. So that's why I'm like, oh, thousands of hours. Like, how do you manage that over the course of a lifetime, maybe? Like,
yeah, that's an entire lifetime of gaming.
No, that's exactly how much I did this month. I did 1,077 hours. And, I came out of the basement and saw the sun one day.
Like, that's what I expect.
I mean, the only way that you can do that is if you've retired young, right? You don't have a job, you can just do whatever you want. Or if you are already old and retired, then you can do whatever you want. Or you're a kid, which is, I'm sure, when most of us were able to get the most of our time in because we didn't really have nothing going on. So realistically, you have to have nothing going on.
Yeah. I think my son has put 1,000 hours into Fortnite in the last week.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah. If you probably checked his time clock, it'd probably be like that.
Last week. Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying.
For me, there's a couple series. The first one is actually it's Kingdom Hearts. As much as I kind of make, I talk the talk like, no, like I don't really want to play it or whatever. It seems like a lot. Like I seem hesitant. Like I actually really am interested in like playing that. Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like everyone always talks about like the story of Kingdom Hearts the same way people talk about the story of Metal Gear, where it's just like convoluted and crazy, and stuff's not going to make sense and stuff. So I'm like, if
you go in order, it will make sense.
Exactly. Well, yeah,
that's what I'm gonna tell you.
That's what I always tell people in Metal Gear. Like, just play the games. Like, it'll make sense if you just play through everything and pay attention. Like, yeah, play it in the order that came out. Like, it'll all.
If you want, I will buy a whiteboard, and as you go through them,
just Adrian.
We'll do the whiteboard of just Kingdom Hearts stuff, and we'll put it all right up there, and we can reference it anytime we need to.
That'd be amazing. So Kingdom Hearts, but then also the Mass Effect series. I've only played like maybe the first hour of Mass Effect 3 because right before I had a PS3 and right before I upgraded to PS4, it was a free game on PS3, like a PlayStation Plus free game. They gave away Mass Effect 3. And so I played like a couple hours and like the next week I got a PS4 and you can't play PS3 games on PS4, obviously. And so I like never touched it again. I've never played 1, 2, and only a couple hours of 3.
Not only did you not play Mass Effect, which is already a sin, but the Mass Effect that you played was the third one in the franchise.
Everyone hates. Yeah, the one that everyone doesn't like.
I don't dislike Mass Effect 3. I don't think it's the best of the 3.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad game by any means. But it's the fact that it's the third one, Garrett.
And not the first. Yeah. I know. I've heard that before. But that's a series I actually really feel like I'm missing out because that's like it's everyone's favorite game. Like Kingdom Hearts is like some people's favorite game, but Mass Effect is like everyone who's ever played it, and a lot of people have played it. They're like, oh my gosh, one of the best series of all time.
There's a remaster right now. They modernized it. You have no excuse.
Other than my enormous
You could have been
backlog.
They're PS3 games, they're 360 games, I can't really play it. They said nope. Bioware said nope. Just for you, Garrett. You know what we're going to do? We're going to overhaul the whole thing. And they did. And Garrett said, I don't see nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm over here replaying the Metal Gear Solid series.
Right.
You played all of your backlog this last, 6 months, man.
You sure did.
You got no backlog.
Wow.
You got no excuses.
Zetch and I are still tied. I almost want to squeak one more out, just like right at the last minute. Like I want to stay even, so he gets complacent at the last minute. I can just like bang out one and like beat him or something. I think.
Oh, he's going to, right? You know he's going to, right?
I'm going to. No, I'm gonna. I'm gonna hold out. Don't tell him I said that.
Oh,
we know he doesn't. We know he doesn't listen to this show. So.
But I'm going to have dinner with him tomorrow night. You know I like to talk. You know I like to say stuff.
Don't tell him.
You know JJ's a snitch.
And I understand they get stitches. So
you better watch it.
Oh man, but yeah. So Mass Effect series. I know they have the remaster. There's just so many. Since I've got my PS5 too, because I've heard the remaster too, like just looks really pretty on the next gen consoles. So I'm like,
it's awesome. Man. They did a great job on them.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to get them, but there's so many other PS5 games I want to catch up on, which I feel like I'm getting close to finally like, okay, I've played most of the PS5 games I want to play. Although I did, Guardians of the Galaxy was on sale because of Game Awards, like for like $30, and I got that. Like it's like brand new. It's only been out like a little bit. I'm like, it won like what, best narrative or best directing, something. It won a couple awards.
I think it was narrative.
And I was just like, oh, okay. Well, I love story in a game, so why not get the best narrative of the year? According to the Game Awards, it's on sale. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news.
There we go.
Of which we have none because we're talking about the Game Awards.
Yeah,
so the nudes.
The nerdy news this week is, kind of a little recap of the Game Awards. I want to talk about some announcements that you got hyped about, some awards that we can mention some of the awards that were won, and then just kind of give general thoughts. Me and Adrian, we actually reacted live to it. So if you want to check out the whole thing, like watch it for yourself, go over to youtube.com/supergamerboys. You can watch the whole thing there. It's like 3.5 hours of us. Because it includes pre-show as well. I do the pre-show on my own. Adrian shows up a little later, and then it was a blast doing that. I think I've pretty much done that every year since we've started Super Gamer Boys, live streaming the Game Awards, and I always enjoy it. So it was a blast. So go check that out if you want to. You can skip around, do what you want. But tonight you're gonna get kind of our main thoughts, some of the announcements, some of the awards. How do you think, Adrian? Do you want to do our kind of thoughts on the awards first and talk about what we saw, or kind of talk about?
Yeah, just a brief little summary, an overview of what you thought.
Okay. You want to go ahead and lead us off?
I thought it was okay. You know what though? I didn't see a ton of hype for this year. Like, normally Keely's like, oh boy, if there was a cure for cancer, the equivalent of it would be the announcements at the Game Awards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that this year from him. At least I wasn't really paying attention for it. But there were a lot of solid reveals, and I went back and I watched some of this, the replay, and a lot of the stuff that I missed. And I was like, you know what? A lot of the stuff that didn't get a spotlight was some of the stuff that I was the most excited for. Like the Persona arena game, the Persona fighting game is getting a re-release on modern consoles. Love that because the PS3 version is like $80 now for some reason. So I'm totally fine with that. And then there were some pretty good reveals that you'll get to in just a second. That one, I was scared I got oversold on, but we'll talk about it. But overall, it was okay. I didn't hate it. The only thing that I did not like was that we only got one song during the Bastion segment, or the Supergiant collaboration with the Imagine Dragons. We only got one song from that, and I was like, wait a minute now. If this is supposed to be the 10th anniversary, let's give it a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. So my thoughts were, I guess, kind of similar to yours. Yeah, I kind of felt like there wasn't a lot of hype leading up, at least as much as previous years. Yeah, I feel like Jeff was like spamming the tweets in previous years, just going nuts. This year, he still like was tweeting about things like, oh, there's some big stuff, but definitely like a little less. And then, yeah, when the show finally came out, I definitely was not like super impressed by both in the number and just the type of announcements that we're seeing. I don't know. I just feel like in years past, there's been like at least one moment, no, I would take that back, because there was at least one moment where I did freak out on the Game Awards. Usually it was like 2 or 3 though. Like 2 or 3 big, like, oh my gosh, even if it's not something, even if it's not something I super care about, but it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. Like so-and-so's going to be so excited. This is so crazy. And I feel like there's only one of those. And we'll talk more about it in a little bit, but it was the Star Wars reveal for me there. But other than that, it was a lot of just like, okay, that's nice. Oh, that's neat. Oh, I'll have to check that out later. Like there wasn't like anything super crazy. The awards, I felt like this year, and I know it's kind of like this every year, but I felt like more so this year, there was the awards really took a back seat. Like there was very little emphasis or even care for the awards. It's almost just like, and the award is blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, see ya.
They didn't even bother to say the nominees. They're just like, and the nominees are, and then that was it. Like normally they would have done, and the nominees are blank, and then they show a little clip of the game,
like a sizzle reel, yeah, with all the
right, just so that even if it doesn't win, people could go, oh, you know what, that looks pretty rad, so that you're actually showing off the people's work. Mm-hmm. But they didn't even bother to do that this year, which is like
there was no hype built up, and there doesn't seem to be much advertisement out there that the Game Awards were coming up. There was a little.
Oh, there was advertisement, but they just weren't advertising the games.
It was insignificant. I felt like there was no energy behind this Game Awards this year. There was no like, oh man, I can't wait for it, because I just wasn't hyped. It was like, oh yeah, the Game Awards are on, Saturday or whatever, and it's like, who cares? It didn't seem big this year. That's just my opinion.
If we didn't cover it this year, I probably would have just had it on in the background.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So yeah, I just kind of felt like I was kind of bummed about that. Like I wish that the awards took a little more like of there was a little more attention shown and given and respect given to the awards, because it's literally called the Game Awards. So like, let's put some respect down there and like show some of the devs sitting in the crowd and show us some of the clips of stuff. But I know,
or have clips of devs talking about, the games that they made or something.
Yeah. But it was still a fun time. Like it's always fun because especially doing it like with you, like, and hanging out with the chat. Like that's what I most enjoy about it is like, it's just like a fun time to hang out with chat and hang out with you and hang out with friends and just, talk about more video games. Just like we do on our podcast every Monday night. So I like that, but yeah. JJ, you weren't really able to catch much of them, were you? I know you dropped in the stream for like a minute or two, but
I caught a little bit of the streams from you, and then I saw a little bit here and there on YouTube, but I wasn't hyped at all going into it. Normally I'm excited every year for the Game Awards, but honestly I felt like the Game of the Year got snubbed, and I'm just a little perturbed about it.
It did, but we'll let it go. Will
we, Adrian? I don't really know if we will. We might revolt, my brother.
But you know what? At the end of the day, it didn't win Game of the Year. It should have, but the fact that we even got it at all is enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah. Cool. Well, let's get into some of the announcements then. I don't think this article is in any specific order that I picked here, so it might be kind of a little all over the place. But the first one on this list actually is the Tunic release date. And dude, that Tunic looks so good.
Dude, like, I've been waiting on it since the demo dropped, or since they started talking before they did the whole like refresh redesign on it.
Mm-hmm.
When it was a lot less dynamic looking, not any less beautiful, but the art, the way that they render the world was way different. And then they came back sometime later with a whole new art style, and it still looks great. And then they came out with the demo for, I think that was after the indie game showcase that Xbox put on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That and Sable, man. Those two were the standouts. And so far, Sable has delivered, so I can't wait to see what comes to Tunic. Been waiting on that one a while.
That's so gorgeous. As like well, what was funny too, because I'd seen a trailer before, but it just like caught me off guard Thursday night when they showed it, and I was like, this is like literally the Legend of Zelda. Like there's literally a Triforce and everything. I'm like, what is happening here? And then after like I realized what it was, I'm like, oh yeah, no, we've seen that before. Like, but I love the style of it, and yeah, it's like it's like their own take on a Legend of Zelda. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm in. Especially with, I'll talk about later, but another game I've been playing this last week, and playing some Link's Awakening on Switch, the remake. It's been a lot.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that.
It's been a lot of fun, but let's see, Tunic. So one other one. I don't really necessarily care about the game specifically, but I didn't realize Telltale Games was back. The last I knew that they went under, they're gone. That was it. And then all of a sudden, like I think it was one of the first reveals, The Expanse, which is a TV series, I think by Amazon or something, right? So they're doing a Telltale series of that game or of that show, and I'm just like, what? Like I didn't realize they were back from the dead. What's going on?
Did somebody else buy them up possibly and maintaining the idea and the name and whatnot? Because
that's pretty much what happened. Is so Telltale went under, and that whole fallout came from that.
Yeah, that was where they fired everybody at the last possible minute. Kept on a little bit of people to finish up the last piece of Walking Dead.
Right,
this was a couple of years ago, I think.
Right, and then I can't remember who exactly. What's oh my god, the Robert Kirkman's company, the Walking Dead people.
AMC or
no, that's the TV one. It's like Skydance,
Skybound.
Yep. They bought Telltale. Or Telltale, excuse me, and almost like reignited it. But when you had said that at the Game Awards, I was thinking, well, when you say that they're back, it's like we've known that for a while. So do you mean that the original team is back? Like they went out and got everybody?
Yeah, I don't know
think
about that.
I don't think that the show was totally clear about what exactly was going on.
Yeah, I don't know about that if that's the case, but yeah, I was just shocked that Telltale Games was back in general. Just at last I knew, yeah, they were gone in 2018 or whatever, but no, I mean that's really cool that they're back. And yeah, we could possibly get more Telltale Games. As far as like who's making it and how they'll actually be quality wise, like that's yet to be seen, because I don't think they've because I also see here that they announced apparently they announced a game in 2019, The Wolf Among Us 2. Okay, so apparently
Telltale.
No, the new
one,
new Telltale, because they went under in 2018, and then 2019 apparently they showed off Wolf Among Us 2. So, I don't know. I guess I just haven't been paying attention to anything these last 2 years. I've just been totally blind.
Nor have I, apparently.
COVID.
But COVID. Yep. Yeah, I just forgot everything after that. But yeah, so that was cool. I'm like, okay, Telltale's awesome. I'm excited about that. I've never watched the show, so I don't know anything else about the game. Is there any announcements, Adrian, that stood out to you here? Again, I'm just scrolling through the article, but so if you want to vamp and something off on your head.
The Hellblade trailer was phenomenal.
Oh my
That was probably my big standout.
What?
In what?
I was just gonna say, I can't believe that was gameplay. Like if you have not watched the trailer, go watch the new Hellblade 2 trailer. Because it's apparently all gameplay.
And the fact that it's running on Unreal Engine 5, right? And it's they said that that's one of the first games that are, gonna be massively released and played. Like, think about the fact that this game is just scratching the surface of what that engine can possibly do in the future. And oh my God, games are about to get
It looked
wild.
like a freaking movie. It looked like a freaking movie. And like it looked like a cinematic in a game. But it was all actual gameplay, like someone with their hands on controller controlling that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like that is insane.
Games finally look like cutscenes.
Yeah, like that was something that we all even talked about with God of War. Like, oh, it's so cool when it goes from cutscene to game, and it worked because it was so gorgeous. But like, this is taking that and times it by like 100. Like right. I was like, oh man, like it can look more gorgeous in God of War on PS4. Like what?
And then speaking of Unreal 5, you and I were talking a little bit about it before the show. Everybody won't shut up about that Matrix demo, so we got to try that,
dude. Yeah,
at some point.
I installed it on my PS5. I need to get to that, but everyone's just raving about this. They showed that off at the Game Awards too. I don't know when it actually came out, but that was their big thing. They had Keanu Reeves and what's her name? I just keep thinking Trinity, but that's not the actress's name. And they kind of talked about the movie, obviously, and then revealed the experience, like available now. I'm like, oh man. I think they showed a couple clips, and it's crazy how good it looks. Unreal Engine 5, it looks like the real thing.
It's wild.
We're literally living in the Matrix now, guys. That's it. Like we're in the Matrix.
I mean, if this is it, hey, I don't know what they were so upset about.
Yeah, I not so bad. Not so bad. I guess if we're talking heavy hitters, I mentioned earlier, Star Wars Eclipse was my kind of big thing, like, oh, freak out moment. And again, everyone needs to go watch this trailer, Star Wars Eclipse. For the first, minute of the trailer, like, you don't really realize it's Star Wars. It's not until, like, a ways into it, all of a sudden you notice, like, there's a scene with, like, Yoda, and even that, it's like, flashes quick. Like, if you're not paying attention, you miss it. Like, Yoda standing in the Jedi Temple, and then there's, like, a flash of lightsabers, and then there's, like, it's up in space, and so showing starships and stuff. But it has, like, this dark, gritty feel to it. It's an extremely gorgeous trailer. Obviously, it's a CG cinematic thing, so it's not necessarily what the game's going to look like. Although Quantic Dream games are generally pretty gorgeous, so it might look pretty dang close, especially maybe they'll use on Unreal 5. Imagine that. Star Wars game in Unreal 5. Holy crap. But man, that just blew my socks off. And I was talking with you, Adrian. I don't really know much about the High Republic era of Star Wars. Like, I haven't read the comic books or the fiction books or anything like that about that area. There hasn't been any movies about that time period. And yeah, so for me, I'm just like, oh, this is like totally new, uncharted territory for storytelling too, for Star Wars, which is really cool. But I don't know. Did you have any thought? Like, you mentioned like some of the potential story points, even, or like the direction they can go with it. I know when we were talking Thursday night.
When we watched this the first time, granted, I watched it through a stream and at like
a stream of a stream.
Right, a stream of a stream. So it wasn't the absolute best quality. So it was, I gotta admit, at first view, I was a little underwhelmed. And then when you and I started talking about it, and you told me that it takes place during the High Republic, and I watched it again, and I said, oh, okay. So it, just a shortened version, in the days of the High Republic, we can basically say that it was like the Wild West of the Force. Like, there were no rules as to what one could do or achieve with the power of the Force. So for them to write a game during that time and make it seem like that this is what we're going to get, is that lawless, raw, unhinged, on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, in the trailer, they literally like what spawns some, like, all of a sudden there's this black tar pit and like something like demon spawns from it, like Sith Lord demon. I'm like, oh
exactly.
my gosh,
You're not seeing
like,
that stuff today.
like, no, like normally, like it makes like the Sith and like all the Star Wars, the 9 Star Wars movies, right? Is that right? 9 Star Wars movies we have. It makes those
Child's
Sith
play.
like so sanitary and so just like Disneyified, even before they're owned by Disney. It's just like, oh, the Sith have been so like big babies. I'm like, no, this thing's like literally a demon from hell. They just raised.
So
and like,
that is what really that's what really pumped me up
yeah.
about this is realizing the potential of where they could take this thing. Now I can't wait for it, and I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it'll be pretty sick. And as far as those rumors we talked about on the show a few weeks ago too, the news story, they're saying it's not going to be like their other games too. So I'm kind of excited about that because, you know, it's not going to be your typical, you know, like your normal Heavy Rain or Detroit Become Human, stuff like that. Like we might see a more like third person, maybe even a little action in there. Like that would be kind of neat. Like give me some action. I don't know.
Are they going to out KOTOR? KOTOR is the question.
Ooh, man, especially with the remake coming. I don't know. Oh, man.
Because that's what this sounds like. Because that's exactly what Quantic Dream makes is basically KOTOR or BioWare games without the combat. So
right, dude, that'd be insane.
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be something.
Yeah, man. JJ, was there anything that kind of stood out to you that you've seen since then? You picked up on?
Eclipse actually was the thing that stood out to me from everything that I saw. I didn't watch the entire thing, but of the things I saw, Eclipse looked amazing. And that looks like the kind of game where, like you, I didn't realize that it was a Star Wars game when I first started watching it. And I was like, what the heck is this? And there's another game that for just a moment I thought it was. What's that Star one that's coming out? The big Starfield. I thought originally that it was Starfield for a minute, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get more Starfield," and like maybe the date is gonna change, you know, or whatever. Right then, no, and I know about what you're gonna say, but I was like, "Oh man," and no, it looks like a lot of fun. And I can't wait to get it, play it in all of its glory.
Yeah, which by the way, Starfield technically they haven't released a date, but on this, it has a Steam page went live on Thursday during the Game Awards, and it says 11/11/2021, right, or 2022. Sorry, 2022. And so it's like it's weird that they didn't announce that at the Game Awards. Like they launched a Steam page and put a release date and everything, and like as far as I know, there's not been any tweets or announcements or anything. It's like okay, like I feel like that should be a big deal, right? Like Starfield has a date, like. Yeah.
And how many years have they been working on Starfield? It's been one of those things like it's just been in production.
It's been a minute.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. But dang.
I think they can pull it off. I have faith in them. Old Bethesda.
Old Bethesda.
And it'd be perfect right before Christmas too. To have it come out right before, you know, the holidays and stuff.
Heck yeah. There's a lot of like cool things announced, but I mean we don't want to go over everything. I think the one other thing that caught me off guard, and this isn't even a game, but the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 trailer for the new movie.
And how good it looked?
It looks so good. I'm like, oh my God.
Are you kidding?
This looks amazing. Like, why? I just watched the first one like maybe a month ago because it's free on like Hulu or whatever, I forget. And I was like, oh, that movie wasn't that bad. Like, I was actually surprised. I was actually, you know, really excited. I'm like, this is a fun movie. And I totally forgot that a sequel was coming out. And then with this trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie looks so good. Oh, I can't wait. And it's coming out, right at the beginning of the year, isn't it? Like April?
I think so. Yeah.
March or April, something like that. But super awesome. Did you guys also realize they announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake's coming to PC? Just slid that in there somewhere at the Game Awards and we missed it.
Did they really?
Yeah. I didn't realize it until the next day someone tweeted about it. I'm like, wait, I think Square Enix tweeted out like the system specs for PC. And I'm like, are you kidding me? December 16th, coming to PC. It's the Intergrade version. So it comes with all the additions and improvements for PC and Epic Games Store.
I want to play Intergrade Square Enix.
Gotta get a PC.
What the heck?
Gotta get a PC. Insane. I was just like, how did I miss that? Like, wait, what planet were we on that we missed that announcement at the Game Awards? But it's Somehow we did. Adrian, was there anything else reveal wise that you wanna share? Kind of a big hitter.
Let's see. We talked about Hellblade. We talked about Star Wars. I talked about Persona. Nothing particularly earth-shattering, no.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just to kind of throw it out there, I don't really have much to say, and I don't know if I'm necessarily interested in it, but I know it's a big deal. WB Games announced the Wonder Woman game coming. It's by the team who made the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor games.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman's coming, and then the Alan Wake 2 was also revealed for summer of next year, but that's a game, like, I haven't played the first one, so I kind of feel like I need to play the first one. But
I mean, you got time to fix it.
Got time to fix it. So I feel like those are two big deals that people in our audience might be like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. But for me, it was just kind of like, oh, that's fine. Like, I know that's going to be big in the industry, but I don't really care about Wonder Woman or Alan Wake 2 there.
Did you say WB Montreal is who's doing Wonder Woman?
No. It's actually Monolith Games, but it's under WB Games, obviously. They're like the publishing studio, but the developer, it's Monolith. They're the ones who made those two Lord of the Rings games. So Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor that came out.
Which those are great.
Really fun games, really incredible games. Cool. Well, if no one else has anything else they want to share about announcements, let's go over a couple of the awards that were given out. So some of like the big games that kind of took more. So here's a game here that took more awards than I thought it was going to. I was shocked every time their name was mentioned, and not because
Deathloop.
Not because it's a bad game, because I actually really enjoyed the game. I just, with the other nominees, I felt like there's other more deserving ones, but Deathloop won Best Game Direction, Best Art Direction. Now I'm struggling to find them here. I had them all written out and I lost the list. But yeah, there's just like a few awards. I'm like, wow, Deathloop keeps getting brought up. Like, what's going on here? But the big, also, actually, I think this game won more awards, was It Takes Two, which happens to be the game of the year. Also won Best Multiplayer Game, Best Family Game. That one won quite a few awards as well, which is really cool. That they didn't just get the one and that's it. But yeah, congrats to It Takes Two being Game of the Year winner. Definitely a shocker though, right? Like that wasn't really on too many people's radar.
I was absolutely not expecting it to win, but I was totally happy that it did.
Have you guys both played it?
No, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Is it on Game Pass? I think I saw it on Xbox.
Yes.
I believe it is.
Yes, it's on Game Pass now. Yeah, because I installed it on PC and I've been looking for someone to play with. So if one of you two want to join me,
give me time, brother.
Down to try it out. I just, with the rest of the list, though, like, listen to this list. Like, there's Deathloop on there, which again, like, I didn't really expect that to win Game of the Year. But Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Like, it just...
Village was so great.
It really blew my mind that, like, It Takes Two... For me, It Takes Two and Resident Evil Village, like... I was like, okay, those are both kind of, like... Yeah, towards the bottom of the list for me. Deathloop was at the very bottom for me for Game of the Year. But... Yeah, I don't know. I just was shocked It Takes Two took it over Psychonauts, over Metroid, stuff like that.
Psychonauts I could see too. It looks pretty good. But of the games that I've played that were on that list, Village is the only one. And I really liked Village a lot. I thought it was a fantastically done game of Resident Evil games. And it didn't feel like a traditional Resident Evil game. I mean, it had the same play ability and all that kind of stuff, but it was just kind of set in a totally different environment. And I really enjoyed it tremendously. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to trying to play It Takes Two. What of the games that you guys played this year do you think should have been the Game of the Year?
For me,
I mean, one of mine was already on there. Metro was already on there. But I am also flabbergasted that The Artful Escape came away with nothing. That was definitely one of my top 3 games of the year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even for best art direction, it was nominated for that. But yeah, Deathloop won of all games. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
That blew my mind. Kena Bridge of Spirits actually won a couple games. I thought that was cool. Best debut indie game and best indie game. So won both of those. That's kind of neat. That's a gorgeous game. I played during our 12-hour stream that I did. I played the first hour of it, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's like playing a Pixar movie. It's actually absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's insane how good it looks. Resident Evil Village did come away with at least one award that I see here, though. Best performance, Maggie Robertson won for her voice acting. She played Lady Dimitrescu. So
totally deserved it.
Yeah, she was killed in that role. So, and she beat out Giancarlo Esposito in Far Cry 6. I mean, that's pretty good. She said during her speech, like, this was one of her first gigs ever, and freaking Giancarlo Esposito is like a big time actor,
established actor.
That's awesome that she won that.
He was Gus Fring, dang it, Gus Fring.
Oh man.
I mean, but that just kind of tells you about Far Cry 6 that not even Giancarlo could save it. So
yeah, you're right. Was there any other awards you guys were shocked by or excited, like Game of Yours won, or?
The family one.
Which
what
was,
won in that one?
It Takes Two.
Yeah, over Nintendo, because Nintendo normally cleans up in that category.
Nintendo always takes it, like, pretty much every year. And if you look here at the nominees are Mario Party Superstars, Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World, WarioWare, and It Takes Two. So the only Nintendo game won it, which is awesome. Like, that was so cool.
Now, is It Takes Two? Is it a co-op game? Is it like a okay? Is it a couch co-op though?
It can be, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen, it's. Did you ever play? No, I can't remember the name of it. Shoot.
Which one?
The one where they break out of prison.
Oh, but the one before, A Way Out.
A Way Out. Okay, then because that's made by the same people, right? Or no?
Yeah, same team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's the same people who made A Way Out, where I think it's online or couch co-op, and it's literally like the same story happening at the same time. Sometimes you're separated and stuff, but yeah, it's a little more like cartoony. It's not like a live action, like a realistic kind of like A Way Out was, obviously, but yeah, I've only heard amazing things about it. Cool. Well, yeah, I don't really have much other. It's funny scrolling through the content creator of the year and all the esports stuff. I was like, I don't recognize any of these people, any of these teams. Like,
None.
You
can just skip right on by these.
I used to be into like some of the League of Legends esports stuff. I used to watch the games and watch Worlds and all this stuff. And I was when they had all the nominees up, I'm like, I don't recognize any of those players. I don't recognize any of those teams. Content creators of the year, I'm like, I watch content on YouTube and Twitch, but I don't recognize any of these names. I don't know if am I getting old? Am I too old for the games industry? Is that what's happening? Am I too old to be a gamer?
You might have to start getting the AARP with me, man.
Oh my gosh. You
might have to.
Oh man. Cool. Well, yeah, if there's no other awards that we are wanting to mention there, I think it's about it. So yeah, overall, the Game Awards were good, but not great. Good, not great. So the announcements are good, not great. Obviously, all the awards are, I mean, everyone is deserving of any awards they get, because
if you put out a game this year, no matter if it was featured, not featured, if nobody even heard about it, congratulations, man. That is a huge endeavor. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So
whether it was nominated or not.
Yeah, 100%. So cool. Well, let's get into this next segment here. We skipped it last week. It needs to happen this week. It's time for Tall Tales with JJ.
Hey.
All right, I'm gonna need a timer on the board.
Okay. All right. Let me get it. Get it. 1 second. 2 minutes on the clock. And so if you guys don't know what Tall Tales with JJ is, I'll give you the rundown here. So JJ doesn't have to do it. You can just jump into his story.
Well, normally it has to be done in the 2 minutes, so it's explained when the thing jumps up. So it's up to you. If people stumble upon it, they kind of understand what it is. But if you want to do it right before, that's totally fine.
No, I'll say it before, so then you don't have to say it during the 2 minutes. You can just tell your story. So he's going to tell a story. Adrian and I have to decide if it's BS or not, basically. And then he reveals. And there's been some shocking stories in the past. But all right, here we go. You ready? Set. Go.
So I didn't get my license until I was 19 years old. But I started driving when I was 14. So I lived in a small town, and my mom would let me drive to the store. I'd drive to the big town that was about 45 minutes away from us. I'd drive there and back all the time. As soon as I get into town, she'd say, all right, we got to flip over, and it's going to be my turn to drive. So I drove for about 5 years. When I was 18 years old, I'd been driving around town, no license and all that kind of stuff. Drove around town all the time. And there was two different issues. One time, the town was flooded, and I had a buddy who had no license and was driving, and the cops were so used to seeing me that they told my friend, they pulled us over, and they told him, like, hey, let JJ drive. And, like, he's like, what? Yeah, you don't have a license, Izzy. We know you don't have a license. You let JJ drive. So he, like, looked at me, and I just looked at him, and I smiled, and I got in the car, and I drove away. And then one other time I was with a dude, an older guy who was in his 40s, who all of a sudden started hanging out at like all these like, 18-year-old like parties, drinking and stuff. And he picks me up in this big Cadillac, and he's drunk driving. And like then he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna take you home." And like we get in the car and we're driving, and he gets pulled over, and we get pulled over, and he was the first black guy I ever hung out with, and he basically jumped out immediately and approached the cops with his arms out. What the hell? Why'd you pull me over? And he was drunk, and so they basically like threw him in the car immediately, and then came back over and said, "JJ, he told us you have dope in the car right now." And I'm like, if there's dope in here, I smoked a little bit of pot a little while ago and drank 2 beers a long time ago. I'm totally sober right now. And they're like, yeah, I know you're lying. And then eventually they go, hey, come on, there's heroin in the car. That's what he said, there's heroin. And I go, there's no heroin in the car. And if there is,
his heroin.
And so they let me drive the car home. They go, all right, take his car home. And so I dropped it off to his sister, and they didn't know that I didn't have a license.
Oh my God. You got away with it.
The not having the license is like the least worrying detail in that story.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of buried the lead a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so the guy's name was Man. Everybody called him Man. Like his name was James Dandridge, and everybody said Man. And he'd come over and introduce himself while I was partying with a girlfriend at the time. And he'd come over and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up? My name is JJ." And he's like, "My name's Man." I'm like, "All right, so sweet. What's up, man?" And he just came around because all the young people were partying all the time. And he's like in his 40s and just wasn't willing to grow up. And so then, yeah, basically he had the thing with the car, and I dropped it off to his sister, and I had to knock on the door at like 2 a.m. and her name was Ada. And I said, "Ada, James got his butt arrested." And she's all, "For real? How they gonna get arrested?" And they let you drive to JJ. You ain't got no license. And I'm like, they don't know that, So
and don't you tell them.
Yeah, I was like, keep that on the DL. That's what we used to say back in the day. It means down low. Google that stuff. Yeah, I didn't have a license for a long time, and it's everybody in town. I would go by cops and wave, "Hey," and they just knew me because I'm kind of a big personality, even back then when I was a teenager. So they all knew me, and they just didn't have any idea that I wasn't legally driving any of the cars that I drove back then.
I think.
So that absolutely did happen.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true, unfortunately.
Yeah. And this stuff is 100% true.
There's no way. It was too detailed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. The fact that you got away with that's to get away with years and not getting in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Like what? You started when you're 14? You said 15?
14. Yeah, I was driving full time when I was 14.
So
man, nobody in your old town cared at all, dude.
They didn't give a crap. No, and dude, I never got pulled over once, but here's the funny thing.
That's true. It's only legal if you get caught, so.
Yeah. One time I was 18, and I told a couple of my cousins, I was like, "Hey, let's go down to the grocery store." And these are one of those things I'm like, should I tell that on the show? Yeah. If I feel like that, I should tell this on the show. So I'm at the grocery store, and we're driving into the grocery store, and I'm 18 years old. I got a couple of cousins with me, and we're about to go into the grocery store, and I see a girl with a big butt, and I'm like, ooh, let's go check out that girl with the big butt. So we drove down the wrong direction of the way they're like parked. They're parked facing one direction. I go down the wrong way to check out this girl's butt. And a car backed out and hit my dad's car that I was driving. And so it was because I was checking a chick out. And so I basically pulled over and I was like freaking out. And she's like, I need your information. I didn't even know what that meant. I had no idea what the heck. I was like, let me go get my dad. And I'm going to leave my cousins here. I'll be back with my dad. And so I had to go and be like, Dad, I hit a car. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. And so he came over and he settled it with her or whatever. And then later, the girl that I was checking out her butt, apparently she told people at the store, yeah, you know that kid? He totally was like coming to check out my butt, and that's why he ended up running into that lady's car.
So everyone knew.
Hey, snitching. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Right?
This has nothing to do with you.
Right?
Why are you trying to set me up?
Right?
Oh, man. That's awesome.
So
I'm glad there was at least justice once. I'm glad there's justice at least once.
Moral to the story, women are not objects, and don't stare at their bottoms when you don't have a license. You know what I mean?
When you don't have a license to do so.
Wait, you can get a license to stare at hindquarters?
I'm licensed in 4 states. Let me tell you.
Oh, that's why you moved to Nebraska. Got it.
It's the easiest
I'm going to be the
license
mayor
to
one
get.
day.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh my gosh. All right. I think it's time we get into our Patreon ad here. Alrighty, guys. So thank you all so much for watching our show. As we mentioned at the beginning, if you love what we do, if we love the show, all the content that we put out, and you want to help us keep making more cool stuff, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us monthly, starting at just $1 a month. Throw a couple bucks our way, and that helps us pay for games, pay for equipment, whether it's microphones, lights, whatever it might be. Just generally keep things running smoothly. So yeah, $1 a month gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this one, such as our Super Gamer Book Club. $5, you get show notes. $10, you can get shout outs in the show. $15, you can be a Patreon producer and literally be our boss. Pitch a segment if you want, or if you want to just be a backseat Patreon producer and just because you love us, we appreciate that too. You don't have to pitch a segment, just all the support, any support is all appreciated. We love each and every one of you. So patreon.com/supergamerboys, or if you want to, usually I talk about Twitch here. If you have a free Twitch sub, send it our way. But you know what? This week, I did it last week, and this week I'm going to talk about it again. sgbstore.com. You can go over there and pick up some of our merch. I've been drinking out of my Super Gamer Boys mug because it has our mugs on there, our faces. Get it? Mugs, faces. Get our mug. Actually, I have my Super Gamer Boys crew neck over here. I was wearing this last week. I literally haven't taken it off all week. This thing's the coziest thing.
That looks so
and,
cozy.
I love it. So sgbstore.com. Go check that out. We have some awesome, some fun merch over there. It's comfy, cozy. The socks, cozier than you'd think. Definitely warmer than you'd think. They look and feel really thin. But let me tell you, by the end of the night, I was sweating so bad in those things. So socks work good. If you need some good warm socks, get some SGB store socks.
Gary, you talk about your feet too much.
Talk about too much?
Too
Okay.
much.
All right. Well, that's it for our ad. Let's get back to the show. Alrighty. It's time for What You Playing. So, JJ, I'll let you go. What have you been playing?
I haven't played a whole lot of stuff, but what I did get to get into this week was Halo Infinite. I got to play some Halo Infinite on the campaign. It dropped on the 8th.
Oh.
So, yeah, this is my first real opportunity to really get into some Halo. And I got to tell you, I'm blown away. Like, it's really great. Like, they did an excellent job And the story so far that I've caught has been pretty good. It's been pretty good. I don't have all the backstory, the lore of Halo stuff, but I know like a lot of people who play it love it, and I can see why, because it actually is a really great game. And I'm glad that they waited, that they didn't drop it too early and they tried to finish it first, you know? So
could you imagine what this game would have been like a year ago?
Oh yeah, it would have.
Oh boy,
it would have been good. It wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Cool. So
That's it. I played a little bit of Infinite. Yeah, nothing else.
Now, Adrian, you've been playing some Infinite as well, correct?
I only played a tiny bit more. Still phenomenal experience. I'm still smitten by it. I can't believe that they pulled it off. I'm still glad every day that they pulled it off.
Yes.
Because that secures Halo's spot as it being relevant for, at least the near future to come. So we don't have to worry about that. So I was playing that, and then I guess you can even say right up before the show, I was involved in a frantic intergalactic battle on old Endor, mowing down some Ewoks as Darth Vader in some nice Star Wars Battlefront 2 on ye olden PlayStation Portable.
Love it. Love it. Oh man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's just kind of what I've been into so far at these past few days.
Cool. For myself, I've also been playing Halo Infinite. I played a good chunk. I've taken down quite a few bases already, gotten some FOBs, forward operating bases. Let me tell you, like the first couple hours of that game, or maybe like the first hour or so, it's all like indoors. Like it's not open world yet. Like it kind of like holds your hand tutorial, but then all of a sudden it opens up and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is gorgeous. Like it looks amazing. It feels amazing. It honestly, like if it was nominated for the Game Award, if it was able to be nominated, like this might have been my game of the year this year. Like it
will be next year. It'll definitely be.
It better be. I hope it doesn't, get screwed over because it came out so early for next year's Game Awards. Like that's because I know that happens sometimes. Like some good games get overlooked. I mean, I know people are gonna be like, but it's Halo, it can't get overlooked. I don't know. We'll see what else comes out. Yeah, we'll see what happens over the next year, because people are gonna be like, I think people could, if Halo doesn't stay in the forefront of everyone's minds, which with the multiplayer, I think that's a no-brainer. Like they're killing it with the multiplayer already. But yeah, the story's been cool. Love in the open world. I love how when you set up your forward operating base, your FOB there, you like, okay, what vehicle do you want? Like I'm already up to like, I have a couple Warthogs I can pick, a couple different mongooses I can pick. Like I have all this like variety of vehicles. Bring up any weapon. I have all these weapons. There's these really cool side ops. And you guys know me, any open world game, I'm obsessed with all the side missions. So I haven't even been touching the main story mission for the most part. I'm just doing like side missions. But I have like all these cool guns unlocked because there's this HVT missions, like high value targets, where it's basically like a hit list. Like, oh, these are the worst of the worst in the Banished. Go take them out. And so I'm hunting these people down. When you kill them, you get their weapons. So I have like this sick energy sword, this sick like what is it? I don't even remember. Half the guns I don't even know the names of because they weren't in Halo 3. If they weren't in Halo 3, I don't know them. But I'm just having a blast. It's so fun because, yeah, it's like, okay, I can have any gun I want in my hand. I can have any vehicle I want, go anywhere in the world. But by far my favorite thing, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, the grunts are hilarious. Have you
How many lines did they record?
Have you listened to some of their conversations? Like, so if you don't disturb them and like say from a distance, like listening to them like converse with each other and tell jokes or screw around. I heard one humming the Halo theme. And then like
breaking the fourth wall,
and then he screwed it up. He's like, I hate that song. I hate it. Like, it's so funny. Like literally singing the song from the menu or whatever. So good. Or when you're killing them and stuff, and they're just like screaming and yelling, like, or when they kill you and like basically like verbally teabagging you.
Dead!
Yeah, they're just like verbally teabagging you, basically. You're like, grunt, of all people, a grunt did it. Like making fun of like the brutes and stuff, or like the elites. Oh, I love it. The grunts are the best part of the game. But yeah, and I also been playing Link's Awakening on the Switch. There's a remake that came out a couple years ago. Wanting to play it since it came out, but just haven't. It never goes on sale because it's Nintendo. And it was finally on sale for Black Friday, and I'm like, I'm doing it, pulling the trigger. It was like half off. So, dude, I sat down my son wanted to watch me play a game. He was sick all weekend. I'm like, okay, you know what? You can sit and watch me play a game. What do you want me to play? And originally he wanted me to play more Mario Odyssey. And I'm like, nah, I've already played enough of that. Like, I'm done with the book club episode. I want to play something else. So he's like, well, what's that one? I'm like, oh, this is Legend of Zelda. He's like, okay, let's do that one. He's heard of that. And dude, that game is so gorgeous. The art style is phenomenal in that. The frame rate sucks, just absolute garbage.
Yeah,
but
that's the worst part.
But it's so gorgeous, so cute. These little chibi little looking, sprites that they have in there. I've never played the original Link's Awakening, so for me, like, the story is kind of fun and interesting. I think I've gotten like 3 or 4 instruments so far, and I don't know, I'm loving everything about it. Like, not a lot of Zelda games have grabbed me in the past. As I've mentioned, I think before on the show, I've only played through like Ocarina of Time. I beat Ocarina of Time and only played through a lot of Breath of the Wild, but I didn't finish it. So this is like my 3rd real Zelda game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm loving the crap out of this so much. I'm just blitzing through it.
You didn't finish Breath of the Wild, Garrett?
No, I put like, I don't know, like, I know this isn't going to sound a lot to a lot of people, but for me, it's a lot. I put like 80 hours, 90 hours into the game and beat 3 of the Beast. I need to beat 1 more Beast and then get to Ganon. But for me, like, I put a lot.
He was going to take that one to the grave. He was going to take that one to the grave.
Dude, that's my point. That's my whole point. Is like, you're sitting there and you're like, you've never shared this. You have an opportunity at the last couple.
There's no way. I would remember you saying this.
Yep.
You guys know I haven't played Breath of. I've mentioned it before. I've definitely mentioned.
No, I know you've mentioned that you've played Breath of the Wild. I didn't know you never beat it.
No, it's a big game, dude. You know me. I get distracted by all the side quests. And Breath of the Wild's like an enormous world with hundreds of random things to find the world.
Go finish it and give Zetch a run for his money.
There you go. That's your next one to finish.
Breath of the Wild. Oh my god.
You're right there, dude. Just go do it.
No way.
You only got 1 more beast.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I probably could do it. Yeah, I have one beast left and then Ganon at the end, but
that's it.
I'm close.
Child's
I'm
play.
close.
Maybe
I could 1-2 punch, get Link's Awakening and Breath of the Wild. Just knock out two killer games.
You know what though? JJ, he must be waiting for his Switch 2 to come in before he can play it. Because it's not playable on Switch 1.
Yeah.
Like that other game that he had to wait for PS5 to come out for him to finish.
Mm-hmm. I remember. I heard that little sob story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm glad. I'm glad it waited. It looked gorgeous on the PS5,
Because it looked like crap on the 4, but
absolute trash on the PS4 Pro. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. 2 amazing games, 2 completely different games, but loving every second of it. And yeah, I'm excited to go back and play more of them. But cool. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for listening to our show, watching our show, however you're digesting this, ingesting this, soaking this up. I don't know what a nicer word. Don't hate the show. Please don't eat the show. Thank you for listening and watching. We really, really appreciate each and every one of you, the interactions that we see on Twitch. Sorry we don't always respond to you guys on Twitch. When we're kind of recording a polished podcast, it's hard to also pay attention to the chat. Although I actually just noticed someone just in the chat says, did you guys play on Xbox or PC? I played Halo on PC. Adrian played it on his Series X, correct? Mm-hmm. And I think JJ played on Series X.
I played it on my Series S.
Series S, okay. Don't you have a Series X?
All 3 spectrums.
No, I have a Series S and then I have a PS5.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. So yeah, played on everything, and it's killer no matter what. But yeah, thank you all for watching, bearing with us. remember, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys if you love what we do. We really appreciate it. Even just $1 a month helps us tremendously. Hey, if everyone who listened to our show gave us $1 a month, that'd be a lot of dollars. So
be rolling in it.
We've been rolling in it. Yep. So go check us out over there, sgbstore.com. Remember, you can buy sweet merch just like our mug that I mentioned during the ad, the sick sweater I have over there on my table. Go check it out. Christmas is coming up. Get some Christmas gifts for your loved ones. You know, force them to love us by buying them our merch. Rate and review us where you can on your podcast services of choice. YouTube, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you know when new stuff goes up. During the week, you can find us at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. You can find Adrian over at...
Any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And JJ, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you can find me over at Twitter and Instagram at JJ Purdom.
Cool. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us here, listening to us banter on about video games and joking and laughing. And hope you guys all had a good time. We appreciate you guys being here each and every week. We're going to come back next week for one more show before we take a little bit of a winter hiatus. We're going to be taking a few weeks off.
I forgot to mention that.
For Christmas and New Year's, and more than likely Garrett's going to put on about 20 pounds over the holidays. And so he gets
at
what we
least
call his bloated weight, and he gets kind of like fat faced. So we want to let him, get down from that, and then we'll be back. So we'll be back next week, and then after that, we're taking a little bit of a break. But just a little bit of a heads up. Get your fix next week when you tune in and tell your friends about it. So for Garrett Morlang, for Adrian Homeboy Holmes, and for myself, JJ Purdom, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Really didn't finish Zelda.
Yeah,
okay. Insane.